Master of the Game, the program on which we bring you the movers, the shakers, the icons, and the legends of our beloved motherland Ghana. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi Che Dakwa, and today I am delighted to be united with you and a very special guest, a man cast in the mold of a diplomat, but a man who casts wood into beautiful pieces of sculpture and takes painted canvas and makes great works of art that adorn beautiful homes, palaces, and beautiful salons all over the world. He is the one, the only, Amakain Amatefio.
Pleasure to meet you.
Welcome to Master of the Game.
My pleasure.
Amakain Amatefio is described variously as a fine artist, a poet, a writer, and a sculptor.
Yeah.
Which one comes first?
A painter.
A painter.
Yes.
So a fine artist.
Yeah, fine artist.
Why painter first? Why not sculptor? Why not poet?
Well,
why not writer?
Actually, all that you have mentioned are means of people expressing, I mean, artists, various artists expressing themselves. I mean, the first way I expressed myself was through painting. You know, much later, I had a strong inclination to do poetry and then sculpture. I mean, like, at different times, various times in my life, depending upon the kind of inspiration I have, I felt like expressing myself. So even the writing also, I mean, I've always had it, but it's like artists work in various phases. There are various phases of the creative, you know, instinct. And for me, one of the things that came very late was poetry, although I have always had this inclination. Like in many of my conversations or chats with people, they say, are you sure you are a writer or you're a painter? You know,
because
sometimes
your poetry is so,
it comes
so significant.
It's so significant in my conversations with people. Sometimes I'm able to play on words and things like that. And people say, are you, I mean, like people, you know, question what exactly I am. And I say, I am all these things, you know, but that is basically what art is all about. Art is a creative way of looking at life. Yeah.
A creative way of looking at life,
Yep.
and then expressing how you think of that life
Yes.
through whatever art
Medium.
you choose to put in.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I remember when I was a young broadcaster, I must have been 21 years of age.
Yeah.
And I was, at the time, buying furniture from a place called Fernat,
Yeah, Fernat.
which used to be, I think at the time, the most expensive
Yep.
furniture company in
And
Ghana.
the biggest as well.
And the biggest as well. And I was looking at these pieces of furniture, and then I saw this beautiful art that just arrested me. And I looked at it and I said, how much? And the lady there at the time smiled and she says, KKD, not now, maybe later when you're older. And I said, why? She says, it's very expensive. And I said, how much? And that's how I got to meet you for the first time, because it was one of your works.
Yeah.
And I have since collected, I think, in excess of 12 of your works.
Exactly. Yeah.
How did you get to exhibit in a place like Fernat that sold the most expensive furniture in Ghana when people were struggling at the time to exhibit at the Loom?
Yeah. Actually, I after school, after College of Art, I did my second exhibition. That was in 1990, thereabout, at the British Council. My first exhibition was before I went to Tech to study art.
Oh, you had your first exhibition
yes, I had
before
my
going
first
to the
exhibition.
College of
Yeah,
Art?
before, yes.
Where was this?
At the British Council.
Wow.
Yes.
So you were that good?
Very. I was like, let me say, I was very passionate. In fact, I nearly did not go to the university to do art. I wanted to do art straight away, and my father persuaded me to still go to the university. So after the university, I had my second exhibition. It was at the same place, the British Council. And then there was this gentleman, Mr. Richard Tete. We used to call him Rat. He was a big man at Merchant Bank then. He bought one of my works and took it to Fernat for framing.
For framing
For framing at Fernat. And then the Italian manager of Fernat, Benjamino.
Benjamino?
Yeah, you remember him.
Who used to call me Mr. Chippendale. Because I always ordered furniture with Chippendale
I remember,
legs.
yeah. So Benjamino saw this painting of mine, and he said, Mr. Tete, who is this artist? I want to meet him. So that's how I got to exhibit my works at Fine Art. The Italian manager, Benjamino, was so, impressed with my work, and so he gave me the opportunity to showcase my works there.
Fantastic.
That's how I got to Fine Art. Yeah.
And you sold quite a bit through that place.
I sold quite a bit.
Because nearly all the major banks, all the major transnational corporations and businesses that were in Ghana at the time bought the office furniture and the home furniture for their senior executives from Fine Art.
Yeah, and most of the embassies as well. All the diplomats went to Fine Art to buy their furniture and everything. So I got to, meet a lot of them, that Chumbuafo, the Malian ambassador then, and of course you, and so many others, and then Lawyer Fuga.
Oh, Lawyer Fuga.
Lawyer Fuga, yeah. And we met at Fine Art, And so I had a lot of people show interest in my work because Fine Art, I was dealing with Fine Art as well. Yeah.
Now, as an artist, you know your target audience and the target market.
Yeah.
Who buys art? Who should buy art and why?
Everybody should buy art because basically, we are able to live our lives well and bring some nobility to and value to our lives through art. Other than that, art, life becomes banal and mundane. So art is a way of enriching our lives or giving us more out of life than the ordinary 24 hours we would otherwise have at our disposal. So art is a way of making life worth our while, bringing meaning to our lives or bringing value to our lives. So art is basic. Is the fundamentals of every life form. Other than that, we are just banal things. We'll reduce ourselves to the mundane, to the ordinary. So art brings value to life, and because of that, everybody, no matter your economic status, should have some art in your life.
Now, I had a boss in England called Sean Bresling. He's passed away now. Okay. He collected art. And for him, I would go to the art center and look for unique sculpture. And he told me one thing. He says when he walks into any office building and he sees no work of art, it tells him something about the people that run the business.
Precisely.
That they have no appreciation for beauty. Because it's, beauty is not only in the woman and in the hills and in the mountains. It's also in the things that we curate and the things we create.
Precisely.
And so every office and every home, no matter how poor, must have a piece of art.
Precisely.
But is art affordable?
Art is affordable. First and foremost, you need a strong interest in art to see it as affordable. Because
you need to have a strong interest for it to look affordable
to you. Because art is like, this brings me to one of the parables of Jesus Christ. He says the kingdom of God is like a treasure somebody finds and goes to sell everything he has to acquire it. So once you have the proclivity, like you have the ability to see beauty, you will go for it wherever you find it. So in my more than 40 years of being an artist, I have come across very rich people who know nothing about art. They are rich, but they have no taste. I have come across precisely.
Can you say that again? Can you say that again?
I've come across very rich people who have so much money, but they don't have taste. You go to their rooms or their offices or whatever, and the kind of things they put on their wall, it's like more, let me put it this way, it's a crime against the architectural edifice they have put up. Precisely.
So you think people should be arrested for that?
Honestly. Because why spend so much money to put up a beautiful edifice and put this kind of thing on the wall? It's like, I call it aesthetic dissonance.
Aesthetic dissonance.
Dissonance, yeah.
It's creating noise in the environment.
Precisely, And I've come across rich people who have taste. They will spend whatever it is to buy art because they know what the value of it. I've also come across even students, ordinary students at Legon or at Tech or even in SS or whatever. They don't have much money, but they love art. when I come across people like that, I don't let the price of my painting be a barrier. Sometimes I give it to them for free.
Because they desire
because
it. They want to
they
save
desire
for
it and they deserve it. They desire for it and they deserve it. I don't let the absence of money be a hindrance to, somebody enjoying what is of value to, what they have value for or passion for. Yeah.
What does it take to become an artist?
Actually, it takes being born, because every human being is born an artist, a scientist, and an engineer. In fact, artist,
Scientist, and engineer.
Engineer, yeah, because these are the skills you need to survive this place.
Well, I would add also shepherd. Every
Precisely.
human being is also born to be a shepherd.
Precisely.
Because
Yeah.
whether you have children of your own or not,
Yeah.
you must help to lead
Lift
and
after
guide some people.
other people, yeah. So these are the talents, these are the endowments every child comes into the world with. You have to get shelter, and not just ordinary shelter with some dignity. And it is the art that brings the dignity to it. You have to get clothing, not to cover your nakedness, but to do so with style. And art is what brings the style to it.
Saying shelter with some dignity brings
Yeah.
to mind a friend of mine called Muhammad.
Okay.
He's now in the Bronx in the United States of
Yeah.
America, and he had a little ghetto in Nima.
Yeah.
It was the tidiest little ghetto I had ever seen in
There
the
you
world.
go, yeah.
Very neat and tidy.
Yeah,
And even
basic.
the way he had placed his radio in the corner to listen
Yeah.
to my pops on the
Yeah.
move. And
Yeah.
a very small TV. At the
Yeah.
time, we called the TV Itikopo. It wasn't the
Yeah,
flat screen.
yeah, those
And
days.
it was so neat and tidy in that little ghetto. Sometimes he would invite me from GBC to come and eat tuozafi that his
there,
mother
yeah.
made in Nima.
Yeah.
And I would look at that ghetto and say, my God, this guy's home is more neat and tidier
Yeah, and
than
appealing.
some wealthy homes that I visited at the
Exactly.
time in Laboni.
Exactly.
So
this is what art is all about. Making things better, or seeing the potential of something and bringing it out, expressing it, either in song or poetry or architecture or painting, or fabric. This is what art is. Art is a way of making life better, making life worth our while. If there's no art, we will ask all our scientists to, find ways of getting us out of here. Art is what keeps us here. Art is what keeps us here. So it is important for our progress, for our development. It's so essential. Without art, there'll be nothing like life.
when we come back on Master of the Game, we'll be talking to the man, Amakain Amatefio, a man born in the mold of a diplomat, but born with the fingers and the brain of an artist, to tell us about his family, his upbringing, not just the family he's from, but also the family he has made, and to tell us about some of the exhibitions he's had in Ghana and in other places. Only on Master of the Game right after this.
Your election stronghold is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
The moment to choose between research, upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you a comprehensive coverage.
And Class Media Group is your most reliable and trusted source to give you the best analysis.
We've put together a strong team of reporters across all constituencies to bring you the breaking news.
Experienced presenters for all the unbiased in-studio discussions with very knowledgeable experts.
Ababia yebenya edefi polling stations ahodoa ewo Ghana for na nyina yebenya mre ni asone so kroden amemu ate ni ye asomo
Anti ye di anibedi abato n'echi na ne bepie wa abato mu bia no yamamwe hunu.
Kaya ho ewa Accra 100.5 FM, Class 91.3 FM, CTV, Ghana's #1 television, and our classfmonline.com. The affiliate stations are who in which your Ghana have biano or Sabakaye.
Abatoɔ mmerɛ atu. Sɛ wopɛ sɛ wohu abatoɔ no ho nsunsuansoɔ a, kɔ so follow Class Media Group, your election strong group.
Hi, I'm Samuel Dubache, popularly known as Credible. I'm with Master Control Room, CTV. I'm encouraging each and everyone to go for peace this Saturday because we need peace.
Hi, lovely people of Ghana. My name is Dr. Kofi Annan, a presenter at CTV Jabo, a subsidiary of the Class Media Group. I wish you well as we go to the polls. I wish you well. Vote safely, vote peacefully.
You're from KKD Kwesi Apia Apreku, the morning show host of Accra FM. Here, Kotwabe, Asumjene here. Yameka say, Blow, Yama Bibia Yasumje, about to Numu, Nenkayin, and Nin Bubo Yemo, Asumje, and I here. You were my back up and None Ghana. Jinama Sumje.
Hello, Ghana, this is your humble servant Robert, aka Robbie X of CTV at the Sound Department. Vote wisely and vote peacefully. Thank you.
Hello, don't worry now. Sunana Imano I na KKD CTV social media team. Young Kuri, don't vote. Vote for peace. Vote wisely. Thank you.
Evangelist Prince Edu Asare, Class Media Group, #1 FM morning show host. Yakoto Abanyame Adama 7 December. Yefa Sundue Enkoto.
Your friend Anoche Samo, CMG #1 FM morning show producer. About to air to Mr. 7 December, be a Fasumge and Kokoto Aba and no anon.
Hello, Ghana Desimamba, Muna Bema, George Kisebedini, Class Media Group, #1 FM social media. Abaya Kotui, Mr. Obian to Aban Awasungemu, Nemfa Eniji, Entina.
Master of the Game with my special guest, Amalkain Amatefiu, fine artist, poet, writer, and sculptor. The world has seen great artists from time immemorial, from Leonardo da Vinci, a Renaissance artist who created masterpieces like the Mona Lisa, Pablo Picasso, an artist who changed the definition of classic art by introducing cubism and collaging his work. Rembrandt, known as the Dutch master, Andy Warhol, a leader in the pop art movement, Edward Munch. The Scream is one of the most well-known paintings in the world. To great African artists, Wangechi Mutu, Njideka Akunyili Crosby, William Kentridge, Jerry Samba, El Anatri of Ghana, and many more like Larry Otu, Professor Ablade Glover.
Yeah.
You know, now you want to say the names? Say the names of your great Ghanaian artists.
Ablade Glover, Wiz Kudowo, Safori, Betty Aqua, and Betty Aqua, Vicky.
And my good friend Nick Kowalski. Fantastic artist.
Yeah.
Every one of them has a peculiar upbringing and peculiar circumstances that drive them to become the artists they are. Now I want to find out, how was this particular artist raised? Who are the members of the family he comes from?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My father is called Ajidu Amatefiu, Samuel near Ajidu Amatefiu. He was, and then my mother, Nocho Dawuna Amatefiu. I was their last child, and very, very creative people. My father was a jack of all trades. I mean, he was a tailor, he was a mason, he was into construction and everything. Yes.
A pure artisan.
Yeah, pure artisan, yep. And so when I was growing up, I was always drawing. Like, I was always drawing on walls and on paper and things like that, and making sculpture work, little sculpture work. I remember when I was in school, like during the break time in school, my friends and I would then it was Kukumemle 2 Primary School, K2PS. We would walk all the way to what is now called the Alajo Gata. It was so clean. We would go inside, we would dig clay around the edges, and then walk inside into the gutter.
What? There was a time in Ghana where you could play in a gutter?
Of course, as kids we played in the big gutters. It was clean. You only see, you know, like
only clean flowing water.
That's clean and clear water. You know, and we'll even catch golden fish and things like that. So we'll go get water and then mix with the clay, and we're making toy guns, and we'll be doing Juloka police, you know, like
police and thieves and mischief.
Exactly, you know. Yeah. So I used to do a lot of clay work and mold with clay and then draw things and things like that. And then my mother would wonder, I mean, why I spend all my time drawing and things like that. I mean, my mother was a stark illiterate. You know, so in her eyes, I mean, in her mind, to study was to be by your books. So doing art and drawing was not, in fact, she was not alone in that. It was a general idea, you know, in those days, because for many people, education was about book learning.
And I think education at the time, we had conditioned the citizenry to believe that all you could be was one of the servants of the slave masters.
Precisely.
So you were just being raised to be one of the administrators in the civil or public service. Never to be an entrepreneur.
Never, ever.
Never to be an innovator. Never to be a creator.
Never, never. So I found myself on that scale. So people, I mean, my mother would wonder, I'm like, Joe Cassini, it's like, Amaka, wouldn't he be studying, you know? People didn't know that art was the first indication of an intelligent child.
But of course.
You know, like scribbling, drawing, it's like, it's a way of representing your environment, expressing yourself about what the environment meant to you. You know, and all human beings do that through art, you understand? So, and at the beginning, I didn't know that was art.
If I may add, language is also another mark of intelligence.
Yes, language.
And your language is impeccable.
You know what? You won't believe this. I started off as a stammerer.
You?
This was how I talked.
You?
I would stamp my feet and, you know, roll my eyes before I could string a sentence. Yeah. I was a stammerer.
How did you overcome it? No, you must tell us so that anybody who is dealing with any speech impediment can also know that they can overcome it.
Precisely. It was in secondary school, Form 3, where, you know, I went to the SU and everything, and they prayed for me, and, you know, I realized. But now looking back, I noticed that the artist that I was, I mean, generally speaking, when you live in a very hostile, emotionally hostile, and psychologically hostile environment, you were afraid to express yourself. And that was where my stammering came from. I mean, school, I mean, I nearly quit school because the classroom environment was extremely hostile.
Were you also dyslexic?
No, I wasn't. But the best time of school for me was during the break time, where I could go and play. You know, the classroom was very tense atmosphere. Teachers held canes, and the slightest thing, they would beat you. You know, so all these things contributed to me being a stammerer. You understand? But in secondary school, I found some freedom, especially when I joined the SU. I found some freedom to express myself, and naturally.
I want to take you a step. Yeah. You know. Just rewind a little. Teachers held canes.
Yes.
And every little thing they would beat you.
They would beat you.
So we were more of a culture of punishment.
Precisely.
Than nurturing and nourishment.
Exactly. Actually, you know, later on, I found out that the school system was a more like socially accepted replacement for slavery. You know, the slave master in the school system was the teacher or the head teacher. You know,
you were scared of him.
Exactly.
You saw him, you ran away.
In fact, we feared our teachers.
Why?
We were scared of our teachers. We were all scared. I nearly quit school because of this. So, I mean, anybody who is close to me knows, I mean, for sure that, like, when you are in my space, I make you feel comfortable. It's the best gift I can give to anybody. That when you are with me, you are on your own.
And it shows in your children. They're so adorable.
Yeah.
So adorable. One is a lawyer.
Yeah, the first is Niamati Amatefio. He's a lawyer by profession and, of course, a poet. You know, and then the second is Naameli Amatefio Bano. She got married a couple of years ago. She married to one nice gentleman, Mr. Bano. And so she's an architect by profession and also a painter, you know. And then the last one is Nia Amate Fiu. He's an engineer and then a sculptor as well.
So here you are.
Yeah.
Every one of them, even the ones that have gone into any other, you know, part of the humanities, still have some way of expressing that art that you've passed on to them through your genes.
Yeah.
And beautiful wife?
Yeah, she's Dr. Mrs. Patricia Wamate. She's a teacher by profession, and she's into languages. So she speaks almost all the languages: French, English, Arabic, Ga, Fanti, Futu, Ewe.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So we have 2 ambassadors in your home already, you and her.
Yeah.
And the children are future ambassadors too.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, just last week, she bought a gas cooker from a shop on the Spintex Road, and from a Lebanese shop, and then she spoke Arabic to them, and they were like, oh my goodness. You know, it's hard to come across a Ghanaian who speaks thorough Arabic.
Oh, well, my ex-wife speaks Arabic too. She speaks
fantastic.
Arabic, French, English, Ether, Ga, and Chi.
Oh, just like mine, yeah.
You know,
and
you know, it's interesting when I say.
So because of that, all my 3 children speak, thorough, fluent French.
Yeah, and they are all very well dressed like you.
Yeah, thank you.
And your mom has the same lifestyle too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So let's get into the education bit. Scared at school because of what's for want of a better word we may call the terrorism of the school system at the time.
Yeah.
A school system that looked like it was a replacement for slavery.
Yeah.
How did you overcome it?
Finally, you know, I came to in fact, much later on, I did a lot of research into the school system, and I came out with one thing, that if you can read and write and analyze or research, don't stay too long in school. In the sense that, you know, the best education is the one you give yourself. You do it on your terms, at your pace, and for your peculiar needs. Because the school system was designed to breed obedience, punctuality, conformity, compliance, and it was to train you for the public administration.
Public service and the civil service.
So when our grandfathers finished school and they wrote applications, you know how they signed the applications? Your obedient servant.
My father never wrote one like that.
Yeah.
My father said, I'm going to work for myself from the very beginning.
Fantastic man. But, you know, my sister was a typist back in those days. And she brought home so many applications that people wrote. And all of them, your obedient servant. And that was how the school system, the school system was to breed people to be obedient servants for the working system. You understand? And so all workers all over the world are power producers. They are trained by the school system to produce power for the powers that be, so that that is what causes their alienation. The more you work, the less power you have. Other people come and collect what you have done and enrich themselves and then pay you.
Of it.
Exactly.
Unless you get what we call oh my God. The words just escaped me, just as I'm about to say.
But that's what capitalism is all about.
The compassionate
business owner.
A compassionate business owner will always look at, this one does so much more and deserves so much more and deserves to be elevated.
Precisely.
And even to a point where they say, I think you can run a business.
Exactly.
Let's go into a business together and partner you.
Exactly.
And you only get that when you get compassionate business owners.
And they are rare. They are rare.
Very rare.
They are very. The norm is that we are training people in school to become worker ants. To sustain the lifestyle of the people at the top. And so people are working, they are earning salaries, but they are not happy because the system takes them away from themselves. So every worker hates Mondays. Every worker.
Artists don't hate Mondays.
No, because we work for ourselves. We live our life on our terms. You understand? Most workers don't own their time. And they crave for the day they will own their time. So all their life, they look forward to retirement.
So what about me? I'm at work on a holiday, but the truth is, my play is my work, and my work is my play, because I enjoy it.
I mean, people like you are few. Because, I mean, you have carved out, I mean, a life on your, on your terms. And others will have to take you on your terms. But many people don't have that privilege that we artists or creative people have. They don't. They don't. They are not happy, but, well, they work because of the money. And that's what is called the slave system. And I mean, we have beautiful euphemisms for all these, you know, atrocities. I mean, emotional atrocities. Beautiful euphemisms to keep you going. You know, and it's a pyramid system. The whole structure is a pyramid system. You are happy where you are because there are people below you who look up to you to make you feel, to sustain your ego.
So you suppress them to feel good.
You suppress them to feel.
And somebody oppresses you from the top.
Exactly.
For him to feel
good. And he's giving so much money and all these largesse of office and everything to make you aspire to get there.
But the truth is, it is not that cool at the top. Because truly, there is a song that even, you know, deals with it. It is lonely at the top.
But alas, by the time you get there, you've lost all your friends. And you've lost your very self. That's what we call alienation. You are alienated from yourself. So a lot of people spend their entire lives looking for themselves. A lot also look for themselves in almost every mirror. They can't find themselves because the system has...
In youth, in the society that you lived in the community you grew up in the family that you were raised in, what was life like?
Very interesting. I mean, like, compared to today, I mean, as kids, I mean, I could leave home, go and roam with my friends. We go plucking mangoes. We go to the bungalows looking for golden fish, you know, in the gutters. The gutters were clean. We go play football, you know, all over the place. We knew everywhere. We rode bicycles everywhere. There were...
How did you get those bicycles?
Oh, there were people who hide bicycles. I mean...
Oh, you could rent a bicycle?
You could rent a bicycle.
And go and still bring it back? And nobody stole them?
Nobody stole them. Just that if, I mean, like, based upon the money you paid, you were given maybe an hour, 30 minutes. If you exceed this thing, your shirt will be seized.
And you go home to your parents without your shirt?
Exactly.
And then what happens then? Tell me, what happens?
They say, hey, Imoti, it's like, where did you go? Where is your shirt? You know? Or you hide, or you quickly go home before your parents came home and, you know, things like that. Yeah,
but you've lost the shirt. They'll find out you lost the shirt.
They'll find out ultimately. But first, we'll go to our mother. She will understand, but our father wouldn't. You know, they will lash you. So that's how some of us learned how to ride bicycles and things like that. Because, you know, those things were luxury items. You know, those things were luxury items. And then I remember in our house at Osu, there was no electricity, there was no water. So
you had to fetch from the tap?
We have to go across the street and fetch water and bring it. I mean, most homes had no water, no electricity.
It's interesting what we take for granted today.
Precisely.
What we take for granted.
We take so much for granted.
So you couldn't read in the evening after 6:30?
No. If you wanted to read, you use Osan, this kerosene lamp.
Yeah.
Or lanterns and things like that. Yeah. And I quite remember, I mean, back in Kokomemli, where I also grew up, one day I asked my father, why is it that at night all the cars have light and sometimes we don't have light? So you see, this doomsaw has been with us from even when I was a kid. It was later on, I mean, we had lights off and things like that. But it was not as frequent as we do now. You know, but it was there back in those days. And I was like, why do cars have light and at home we don't have light? You know, I asked my father this question. you know, and then later the lights will come on. But
well, maybe you can answer that question, because the people who had cars were the wealthier ones.
Exactly.
And if you're at home and you didn't have lights, then you were not amongst the wealthy.
We didn't even have TVs. Like, much later, TVs came.
But we had radios.
We had radios at Casa
And radios were good, because
Very
the
good.
conversations on radio were really good.
Very good.
I mean, as a kid, we had TV very early, but from black and white very early.
Yeah, black and white.
Color also very early. But radio, I mean, you listened to radio and you knew what was going on in the world.
Yeah.
And
GBC 1, GBC 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the foreign service. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
And what was Mom like?
Oh, my mom was into the food business. She had a chop bar, and so
we had similar moms.
Yeah,
my mom ran a restaurant for over 38 years.
Wonderful. Same here with my mom. And so our home was a place where everybody in the neighborhood came to eat. Everybody came home to eat. I mean,
that should have made you a very popular young man, because you were a baby last.
Yes.
So any friend of yours who came who didn't have food, you could go and, you know, steal food for them.
Exactly.
Or you went to ask Mom for it.
Sometimes, you know.
Sometimes you took it without permission.
Yeah, without permission. Because sometimes our father got the best part of the meat. Yeah. He who pays the piper, calls it in, pays the piper. He removes the money, so he gets the part. And sometimes we kids are like, you know, so hey, we look at our father's food and say, hey, Charlie, you know.
Yeah, when you grow up and you pay the bills, you have meat too.
Exactly, you know. Yeah, so it was quite interesting. And we ate together.
You sat at a table and ate together?
No, we didn't have dining table. We had this, you know, and then
that
all
was
of
a dining table.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a big round thing.
Exactly, yeah.
You put the food on and you all sat
all
around
of us
and ate. Yes.
And sometimes, not just we family members, with friends as well. We all sat together with my mom and sisters. We all ate.
No, but how would you eat fufu that way?
Oh, we had a big bowl. One big bowl. Everything was inside and we all ate. Yeah.
That's some communal living.
And after that, I mean, after eating, I mean, mine was to clear the table.
Baby last.
Baby last, to clear the table. And then my sister would do the washing, you know, things like that. Yeah. So, and then because my mother had a chop bar, I mean, I could pan fufu and do everything like myself and all that. I could do soups and stuff like that. Sometimes we would go to Mokola to buy the food stuff. I'll help her. Yeah, all those things.
We have similar lives, really, because I used to do the buying in the market for my mother's restaurant, because when I went, the ladies gave me extra.
Exactly. Same here. You know, all the ladies, like anytime I went to the market with my mom, the lady will say, oh, it's like oh, this your son is he's my husband. You know, and because of that, they will give my mother a lot of, you know, they will dash her or they'll give her lots of things, for free, just because of me,
Now, so from that life into secondary school, which one did you go to?
Accra High School.
Accra High?
Yeah.
Black and white?
Yeah, Accra Lobiti.
That's what they called you guys.
Because, you know, every CS match, our school won the school competition for the best school that matched, you know, so...
And your school took that very seriously.
Yeah, very seriously.
In Presec, we took debating more seriously.
Yeah, debating,
and now we take the quizzes more seriously.
Yeah.
But I like the Accra High people. They were footloose and fancy free.
Very.
It was like, you know, they were just having a good time in school.
Very,
You know, I had a few friends there.
Yeah, okay.
You know, a few female friends.
Okay.
Wow. And then, before going to the College of Art, what exactly happened?
Actually, as I said earlier on, it was much later that I got to know that what I did was called art. I didn't know. It was in secondary school that I met a few friends who, I mean, Accra High was basically a day school. Later on, we added Sixth Form, which was a boarding school. So some of my friends who lived at Collegon, they would walk to school, and then they would tell me about Art Center. And they would say, oh, you should go there. They do exhibitions there. I said, what are exhibitions? I didn't know what exhibitions were. You know, so one day, a friend of mine who is now passed on, I worked with him, we went to the Art Center. And for the first time in my life, I saw artworks. I was like, oh my God, I can do these things. I can do these things. Oh my God. That was my first time I got to know of anything called exhibitions, art exhibitions. That was in secondary school, you know. So I wanted to have an exhibition after school. So I started working towards it. You know, I'll go to town, I'll go to timber market, you know, buy wood, bring home, and then, you know, cut them and do my frames.
Did you teach yourself about sculpture?
Yes, I taught myself
or
about.
Somebody
No. I
mentored you. You taught yourself.
I taught myself about sculpture, especially after meeting Sakakwe. I met Sakakwe, the great sculptor, and he inspired me and things like that. So, and then my brother was into carpentry, so there were chisels and things, and there were plenty of wood lying about. So I started carving. Carving and all that, especially like wood sculpture, like things like that. And then later on, I tried sawdust with white glue. I mean, I go to timber market. There were all these heaps of sawdust, you know, going waste.
Which was actually junk.
Yes, precisely.
To them was junk.
Exactly.
But elsewhere, it's actually used for creating another set of furniture.
Yeah. And all this was before I went to tech.
Wow.
All this was before I went to tech. So my primary aim was to have my first exhibition. An exhibition. So I did that in 85 at the British Council.
How old were you then?
I think I was 20, 21, thereabout, yeah. And I did 33 paintings and 11 sculptures, you know, and it was like, I was so happy, but I had to carry everything back home. I mean, I couldn't make a single sale, but I was so happy. People came there and said, "Are you sure you did this? Because I know people at tech who cannot do this. You know, are you sure?" I said, "Oh yeah, I did that." I mean, I was so passionate. So regardless of the fact that I couldn't make any sale, you know, I still wanted to continue. So I told my father that, I mean, forget about tech. I'm not going to tech. And my father said, "No way, you are going to go." So I went to tech, and then I did my course, and I learned, of course, new things. You know, had a first class, and then tech.
You had first class?
Yeah, I had a first class at tech.
Oh.
Yeah, and then the school
Do you remember
wanted
some of your colleagues in your year group?
Roberta Ite, Emmanuel Anti, TYT, Jogbewupo, and those behind me were Kowalski, Tafafia Jegbe, you know, things like that. And these were some of my, and then Eva Campbell, she was ahead of me. We're meeting there.
Nate Mills was ahead of you.
Yeah, Nate Mills was there.
Busy. That's what you call him.
Yeah, Busy, yeah. And then T. Tommaso Damti, he passed away.
I know these names because I've collected from them. You know, I love to buy art.
Yeah.
Not because I'm rich, but because I love art.
You love art, yeah.
Now, when you look back on it, you had art in you. And in most of the artisanry schools and design schools in the civilized world, they don't just take you on because you apply. They take you on because you've already started gaining some experience
and knowledge,
so that you don't just come to get a certificate and then you don't use it. Like in Ghana, we've had many people who have gone to even medical school because there was what you call protocol list, and they're not even practicing as medical practitioners. In the meantime, there were people who really wanted to be doctors,
desperately,
and they didn't make it because even though they had the grades, they didn't get protocol. And the protocol people made it impossible for them to go.
There you go.
So here you are, you have actually studied and practiced art before going to the college.
Yes.
Now you get into the college, you make first class.
Yeah.
Looking back on it all, what did you gain from the college?
Back in the college, you know, art is not just about painting or drawing. Art is also very intellectual. And even those in the university, some of the people in the university didn't know that, because when they saw we artists in the libraries, they was like, "What are you guys doing in the library? You should be in your studios." You know, so back in the College of Art, we did art history, you know, African art history, European art history, and psychology of art, and all that. So, you know, going to the college broadened my scope of art. And I came to realize that even there's a sociology of art. Art is about society. It's not just about painting or drawing or music. Art is meant for society. It's a way of shaping society. It's a way of creating our reality in this world, you know. So for me, art is everything, and I learned all these things from the College of Art. But then, after 4 years, what we all learned, you know, is that why did we take 4 years to do this thing we could have taken 6 months or a year to do?
Which is what I'm telling the people at the School of Journalism and the School of Film Studies these days.
Exactly.
We're keeping them for too long.
We're keeping them for too long, especially when they are adults who can read and write. You know, for me, the most important thing is like, if somebody can read and write,
research
and analyze, you know, they don't need to spend all these years in school.
Doing what?
Especially when it is based, I mean, it is based upon practicing your craft. And then we have a lot of people who are talented, who are doing the practical work, but do not have university also education. Take them through university of education for 6 months or 3 months, and then that's all. We don't need to keep people, you know.
I think the education system is another business. So they extend it to take fees. Because
precisely.
My family owns a hospitality enterprise.
Okay.
We have a budget hotel, which is operated for over 40 years. And I get angry with the fact that somebody who even wants to work as a waiter has to now go to what used to be a polytechnic, now called a university, and spend 3 years getting a diploma in hospitality to come and be a waiter.
Waiter?
Are you joking?
Yeah.
There should be certificate courses.
Precisely.
You know, at Opportunities International.
Yeah.
You know, 3-month certificate courses, 6-month certificate courses. So we are making the degree stop people from entering a profession. And like Soichiro Honda said in the book, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard, you know, a degree or diploma is like a cinema ticket.
Precisely.
No, it's actually, it is even worse than a cinema ticket. Because with a cinema ticket, you are guaranteed a seat in a cinema hall. With a degree or diploma, you
There's no
guaranteed
guarantee.
nothing.
Absolutely no guarantee.
So people have the practical knowledge, but cannot enter some field of endeavor because the degree is the gatekeeper.
Is a gatekeeper.
And people have the degree, but they don't have any passion nor practice, and they are employed, and they have to be let go after 3 months.
And you know, the worst part of it, most of these talented people who are doing everything that most educated people in the university cannot do, feel inadequate because they haven't been to a university before.
To us. We'll tell them that they are not inadequate.
Exactly. So I meet them, I said, listen, you are doing what people in the university are struggling to do. Keep doing it.
That's it.
Keep doing it. Don't wait till you get a degree before you feel confident about yourself. You are doing the sculpture, you are doing the painting, you are doing the poetry, you are writing and everything. This colonial thing, mindset, that until and unless you get university education, you are not there.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
It's a big lie.
It's a huge lie.
Because the greatest artists in their culture are not degree holders.
Precisely.
They are not degree holders.
At all.
I think we're emphasizing the importance of a degree.
Exactly.
And not actually letting people understand the importance of an education.
Education, yes.
Are you enlightened? Do you know better? Do you have skills and competencies?
Yeah.
Or do you merely have a
certificate? Yeah.
When we come back, more with the great master, Amaka Inamatefio, a man conditioned in the mold of a diplomat, but with the gifts and talents of a great artist, sculptor, orator, writer, and poet. Only on Master of the Game right after this.
Your election stronghold is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
The moment to choose between reset, upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you a comprehensive coverage.
And Class Media Group is your most reliable and trusted source to give you the best analysis.
We've put together a strong team of reporters across all constituencies to bring you the breaking news.
Experienced presenters for all the unbiased in-studio discussions with very knowledgeable experts.
Ababia yebenya edefe police stations ahodwa ewo Ghana for na yebenya mre ni asone so krojen amemu ate ni de asomo
Enti ye de ni bedi abato n'echi na ne bepie wa abato mu bia no yamam ehunu.
Kaya ho ewa Accra 100.5 FM, Class 91.3 FM, CTV, Ghana's #1 television, and our classfmonline.com. Your affiliate stations are good in which your Ghana have a biano or Sabakaye.
Abato mre some say who abato no nsu sanso a full of Class Media Group, your election strong group.
Hello, Ghana. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi Dakwa, and I'm delighted to tell you a beautiful story. For every young person in Ghana looking to work in radio, television, or online, this is a great opportunity for you. Welcome to Class Media Group. Class Media Group, with 1 TV station, 9 radio stations throughout the country, and 1 great online portal, is taking on new hires as interns. Interns to shadow great personalities and train for a job and career ahead. All you have to do is apply to this below. This goes straight to our head of human capital and culture. Whether you want to work in radio production, radio presenting, television production, television presenting, or working to write and post online, Class Media Group is the place to be. This is KKD. See you soon.
Hello, it's a whole brand new season of the Sudan TV show. My name is Odansini Odilia. We come your way this and every Thursday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. This new season, we are looking at solving issues concerning properties. So if you have bought a land and you are having issues, you bought a house, or you have any litigation issue concerning any property, come to us. And we are looking to sell properties on this very show. So if you are looking to buy a land, a house, or even to rent an apartment or a house, this is the show you have to watch. My name remains Odansini Odilia. Watch us this and every Thursday, 5 to 5:30 p.m. only on CTV.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
You're safest and soundest with the finest on Master of the Game with my special guest, fine artist, poet, writer, and sculptor Amakain Amatefio, a man born and conditioned in the mold of a diplomat, but a great artist indeed. Now I want to find out from him, what are the ways that we as Ghanaians can promote the culture of Ghana through art?
Well, thank you for this question. It's something that I've been very passionate about because from the beginning, our education, it's like takes us away from our culture. We were educated away from our culture, and that is the reason we should be very deliberate about including our culture. Like prioritizing our culture. No people have been so conditioned to be suspicious, to look at their culture in derogatory terms like we do. And our culture is who we are. So when we look down on our culture, we're looking down on ourselves. So we should be very deliberate, we should be purposeful in prioritizing and centralizing our culture in all our education. And the first president of this country did that.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah did that, like using art, you know, to project the image of Ghana internationally.
You know, we've got big art pieces, the Kente.
The Kente.
The framed Kente at the United Nations headquarters.
Exactly.
I've been there, I've seen it.
Fantastic.
And I was so proud when I looked at it.
Exactly.
And I was there with other Africans, 21 of us.
Precisely.
And they all looked at it and they said, oh,
that
Ghana has beaten us to it.
Exactly.
And I said, no,
that is what art does
Ghana
for
hasn't beaten you to it. Ghana is representing all
all
of
us.
Africa.
Yeah.
We're representing all of us.
Exactly.
So every nation must
nation.
find ways to use their culture to represent all of us.
You know.
So how can we project our culture through art?
I remember back in the day, 2018, 2019, thereabout, you know, I came up with this idea of using art to brand Accra. So I went to see the mayor then, Ajisoa, and then proposed the idea to him that we could collaborate, you know, and use art to brand Accra. And this was a place-making initiative, because places are not just geographical areas. You can deliberately...
They're cultural centers.
They are cultural centers, so that because human beings take pride in telling other human beings, other people where they have been to or where they are going to.
To Trafalgar Square.
Trafalgar
it's
Square.
Just because there's some planes and something is mounted on top of it.
Yeah, I've been to Paris, seen the Eiffel Tower. I've been to see the pyramids. I've been to the Taj Mahal. So what do we give people to be proud of? You know, what do we people in Ghana or Accra give people to be proud of? I've been to this place in Accra. What do we have to show? So I proposed that idea, to the AMA mayor, and he bought it. So I came out with the Accra for Art program, where we use art to brand Accra, and got in touch with all the artists at the GAVA, Ghana Association of Visual Artists, Painting in the Open, and then Mo, he's a top world-class graffiti artist, you know. And what happened was that on Sundays, when everything is quiet, myself with then Jennifer Dodo with AMA will go around, and then Mo and other artists will go around Accra looking for spaces to paint, to get
public spaces.
Public spaces. So like the under bridges, and the roundabout at Dimples, Achimota Forest roundabout there, the Apenkwa Bridge, the other spaces around Accra, where the old headquarters of the AMA, you know, that area. We spotted all these places, and the Sankara Circle. But then something happened, and then, you know, politics happened, and other people too got in touch. Got into it, and then that was the end. But the idea...
But this should be an artist's initiative.
Exactly.
This should not be a business person's initiative.
Exactly. But, you know...
And if the artists are doing the work directly, and we are paying them directly, it will be cheaper than going through some agency or middleman.
Precisely.
So we managed to let politics destroy nearly everything in this country.
Yeah, but the idea... you know, see the light of day. But the whole thing is that we want people, Ghanaian people, to see art in their daily life as they walk through the public. As they walk in public. Because as we have in other countries, you go to Germany, art is everywhere in your face. You come to Africa, or you come to Ghana, there's nothing like art in the public space, except or unless you visit an artist in his studio, which is not too good. You know, we should leave the studio and come to the public so that we have art. Everybody has art in their face. It's a way of growing the art industry. It's a way of growing, making the public aware of the importance of art in their lives.
So you go to Brussels, and then you ask anybody in Brussels, where do I have to see? And they go, you have to go to the Atomium. So you go to the Atomium, and this big art structure. And you take pictures there. And that is how you know I was in Brussels.
I've been here.
You go to Paris, you say you are going to the Louis Vuitton Museum, or you're going to Opera, or you're going to some other museum, and there is art there.
There's art everywhere. There's art everywhere. So that even if you don't have money in your pocket, there's so much in the public space to delight your soul. To experience. You know?
What about our embassies around the world? Should they not be places where we actually show our art to the world.
Actually, that's why they are called embassies. They represent us outside the country, and they come from us. So they should take whatever is here over there. Our embassies should be promoting who we are as Africans or as Ghanaians, our unique art forms. They should be at the forefront of this. And towards this end, I would even suggest that no group of people sell their countries more than artists. I mean, you meet people, I mean, if you're a Ghanaian and you go anywhere in the world, you meet people who tell you, oh, I have been to Ghana before and I have this to show. I bought this artwork at the art center or from this gallery.
A little artifact.
Precisely. You know, that is how we export, you know, our country. That's how we export our, I mean, who we are. It's as simple as that, through the arts. You know, when we are dead and gone, and archaeologists come and dig where we lived, all that they have to show for the kind of civilization and sophistication is their artwork.
And maybe the bones and teeth.
Exactly. To show evidence that the people who lived here were actually Africans or Caucasians or whatever. It's our artwork. I mean, it outlives all of us. It is the way we write our story. It is the way we tell our story. And that is what defines us. If we do not tell our story through our art, other people will tell that story, and they may not tell it in our interest. Other people will never tell our story in our interest. They will tell it in their interest. So if you look at, say, colonialism, wherever there has been colonialism, the Europeans who did the colonialism have taken their art forms along. And this is what happens. They condemn all local art forms. First, all local art forms are reduced to the status of idols, totems, and what have you, fetish.
Negligible objects.
Fetish. Whilst they project their art forms as the art form. The art form.
Yet they display these very art forms that they condemn
in their museums.
In their museum. I'm a member of the Victoria and Albert Museum of Art.
Yeah.
And it just interests me, the number of pieces I see there from different places around the world. And people pay to go and see them. I mean, of course, we have the public side of the exhibitions where everybody can go for free, but for certain exhibitions, people have to pay to see them.
Exactly. So you realize that the first thing under colonialism, the first thing that is condemned, all your images are reduced to idols, fetishes, and totems. You never see any British idol. You never see any British image which is called idol, or American image which is called idol. All idols are from third world countries.
Or colonies.
Or colonies, exactly. So this is the importance of art. You know, art is used to write our stories or to tell our stories. And with the government, institutions, and everybody should take an interest in it, because everything the government does is basically to make us look good in the rest of the world. That's selling your country. And nothing sells your country other than your art.
So,
films.
The ambassadors come from Ghana before they go outside.
Precisely.
If an ambassador has been brought up and educated in a manner as not to appreciate art, is it too late to teach them?
It's not too late. It's not too late. I mean, it's not too late to learn or do anything. It's not too late at all. And everything is where you last left it. So all these people, like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or this, people, career diplomats can be taken through art appreciation. You know, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs could even collaborate with art organizations in Ghana. You understand? And then we can even go back down to the school system. All school children, everybody, no matter whatever you are learning, art, science, music, whatever, you should have some exposure to art.
But they do these in Japanese schools. They do them in Chinese schools, in British schools, in Scandinavian schools, in American schools. So why are we so different that we cannot tell our children when they go on school trips that this school trip is for art appreciation? This school trip It's for safeguarding the environment. Yeah. Why can't we do
it's
the same?
It's because we have not decolonized our education. We have not.
But they are doing it.
They are doing it. And we go to school, a lot of our people go to school there. We have yet to decolonize our education. We have yet to do that. I mean, if you drive in town and you see most of the trotros with Caucasian Jesus, I mean, a man from Hollywood.
Ghanaian artists are still painting those Caucasian Jesus.
Incredible. You understand?
Isn't that sad?
You know, that brings us to the point where, like, images are like viruses. Once they get on your mind, they stay there forever. They stay there. That's why, I mean, intellectually, we know that this Caucasian Jesus is never true. It's not true. We shouldn't be encouraging it. But alas, the image has stayed for it. It's there.
And it's still in people's living rooms.
It's still in people's living rooms, you know?
Instead of a piece of art from Africa.
Precisely. And actually, the Hollywood actors who played the roles of, like, Jesus have come out to warn everybody, please, I am not Jesus. Stop, no matter what. You see, that brings us to the power of art.
The man came from Bethlehem.
It's the people
closer
there,
to Palestine.
Precisely.
So at least paint him in the image of a Palestinian.
Precisely, you know. That's the power of art. When images stick in our brains, it's there forever. I mean, for example, look at images of the Big Six.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
The Big Six is a lie.
It's a lie.
Because Niboniala Tamanche is the one who started this riot against the imported goods that we could not afford.
Exactly.
Politicians were arrested.
Yes.
Politicians were released when they found that, okay, it wasn't them, so they had nothing to do with it.
Precisely.
The man who was known in Ghana as the orator and leader was Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
So now somebody concocts an image and says, these are the big six. Tell me what each one of them individually achieved.
Yeah. And it's then it's a lie.
And then, today we must make it clear.
Precisely.
The big six
is one
big lie. Educate yourself.
Which has gained currency.
Emancipate yourself from
mental slavery.
None but our own self can free our own minds. You see?
Yeah.
So let's start telling the children the truth.
Let's start telling the children the truth. And then there were women. There were women who were part of the independence struggle. Where are they?
Big question. We will come to that right after this. But what exactly do we have to do in the school system for people to appreciate art? And for you watching online on MyCTVGH on Facebook and MyCTVGH on YouTube and listening to us live on radio around the country on Accra 100.5 FM, Class 91.3 FM, and affiliates around the country, go online and tell us. Tell us about your personal experience, about people who do not have degrees, but who contribute more to the society than so-called degree holders who do nothing with the papers they have gotten. But also tell us about people who are using their degrees to create value for Ghana, our motherland. We'll be right back with a Markain Amate Few right after this.
It's party time on Modern Affair. Ola Bawo. As I introduce to you Safari Zoom Flex live on Ghana's #1. With Zoom Flex, you can join the fun wherever you find yourself via Zoomer. Ella, don't shake the body. God, it's Friday. Of course, time is 10 p.m. sharp on Ghana's #1 with the man them DJ Last Week Official. We say Ola Bawo.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
Your election stronghold is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
A moment to choose between research, upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you a comprehensive coverage.
And Class Media Group is your most reliable and trusted source to give you the best analysis.
We've put together a strong team of reporters across all constituencies to bring you the breaking news.
Experienced presenters for all the unbiased in-studio discussions with very knowledgeable experts.
Ababia ye benya e dey fi police stations ahodo a e Ghana for na nyina ye benya mre ni asone so krojen amemu ate ni ye dia somo
Enti ye di ani bedi abato n'echi na ne ebepie wa abato no mu bia no yamamwe hunu.
Kaye ho e wa Accra 100.5 FM, Class 91.3 FM, CTV, Ghana's #1 television, and our classfmonline.com. Your affiliate stations are who we in which your Ghana have baby no on Sabekaye.
Abato mre sabe se hu abato no nsu sanso a koso follow Class Media Group, your election strong group.
Hello, Ghana. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi Dakwa, and I'm delighted to tell you a beautiful story. For every young person in Ghana looking to work in radio, television, or online, this is a great opportunity for you. Welcome to Class Media Group. Class Media Group, with one TV station, 9 radio stations throughout the country, and one great online portal, is taking on new hires as interns. Interns to shadow great personalities and train for a job and career ahead. All you have to do is apply to this below. This goes straight to our head of human capital and culture. Whether you want to work in radio production, radio presenting, television production, television presenting, or working to write and post online, Class Media Group is the place to be. This is KKD. See you soon.
Hello, it's a whole brand new season of the Sudan TV show. My name is Odansini Odilia. We come your way this and every Thursday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. This new season, we are looking at solving issues concerning properties. So if you have bought a land and you are having issues, you bought a house, or you have any litigation issue concerning any property, come to us. And we are looking to sell properties on this very show. So if you are looking to buy a land, a house, or even to rent an apartment or a house, this is the show you have to watch. My name remains Odansini Odilia. Watch us this and every Thursday, 5 to 5:30 p.m. only on CTV.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
It's party time on Modern Affair. Ola Bawo. As I introduce to you Safari Zoom Flex live on Ghana's #1. With Zoom Flex, you can join the fun wherever you find yourself via Zoomer. Ella, don't shake the body. God, it's Friday. Of course, time is 10 p.m. Sharp on Ghana's #1 with the man them DJ Last Week Official. We say Ola Bawo.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
Your election strong room is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
A moment to choose between reset, upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you.
All artists have to find ways to create the art and then to promote the art. For if they do not believe in their work, who will? Now, how do you create your art in an environment that does not seem to appreciate the work of the local artisan? Well, many work against all odds to create their art anyway. And even though the locals may not recognize them, their work sells for very high prices in other lands where they are held in high esteem. They say a prophet is not accepted in his own hometown. But this one here is really accepted, looking at the number of works he has in great homes and offices across the country. Amarkine Amatefio is my guest on Master of the Game, and now I want to find out from him, what are the 4 key steps he will advise anybody in government to follow to help teach the creation and appreciation of art in our schools?
Thank you. Yeah, I like this question because I've been passionate about it. The first is to prioritize art in our school system and not to see art as, when I was growing up, artists were seen as people who do art because they couldn't do science or, business or things like that. I mean, art was looked down upon. And I've said earlier on that it's because we were, educated away from our culture, because art is central to our culture.
And who we are.
And who we are. So when we understand it this way, there will be no need for appeals to promote art. It's because the understanding is not there. We do not understand who we are. We do not know who we are because we have never been taught to know who we are. But once we see the importance of knowing who we are, we would not need anybody to come and beg us. For example, we do this Ghana month. When I hear things like Ghana month,
Ghana is every day.
Excuse me.
Ghana is every day.
Ghana is every day. Where we wear our local fabric and things. We should scrap that.
It's Ghana year.
It's Ghana year. It's Ghana life. Our presence to this world is to showcase who we are as Ghanaians. We have come to contribute to this world by being Ghanaians, and we should showcase that. Others are contributing to this world by being Americans or British or whatever. Everybody is being themselves, is busy doing themselves. We should never set a month to do ourselves. We should set an entire life. So we should prioritize our culture, our artifacts, our artists. A lot of the times when I listen to radio or watch TV and see the foreign content, I ask myself, will I ever go to Germany and hear the Germans playing high life the whole time?
As much as we do
other people's work here. It means, all this shows how far away we have been educated from ourselves. So we should take pride in being Ghanaians and to showcase it. Let's show our artwork. Let's celebrate our artists. Let's put value on them. Let's prioritize. Let's make people learn about them.
And let's show our art in our public spaces.
In our public spaces.
When I walk into Kolebu, for instance, I'm like, where is the art?
Where
to
is the
inspire
art?
me?
Where are the murals? Where are the murals? The public murals, where are they? Why should artists go from office to office trying to plead and coerce and cajole people to, can you let me come and paint here? Or why should we do that?
No, because the person who has been promoted into the position of authority does not have a frigging clue. If he had a clue,
he doesn't have a clue who he is.
Somebody already.
Yes, he doesn't have a clue who he is and why he's there. You understand? So this is where I want us to come
People
from.
go and buy all these Chinese crafts that are made by little children.
Yeah.
And then they place them on a pedestal as though it was some great art.
Precisely.
And I've had the opportunity to tell a few of my friends,
Forget it.
Copper proper carving.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And then we should let it be part of the school curriculum for every school child to...
From what age?
As early as possible, like from nursery, to go to visit the museums, to visit the galleries, to visit the studios of artists, and to visit art exhibitions when artists are having them. It's important. It's very, very important. These days, I mean, we have Chaliwati Street Art Festival, which is also a good attempt to bring art into the, to the open space. Domain, yeah. You understand? We want all the CEOs of multinational companies, local companies, to invest in art. We need art in our public spaces. We need art in our offices, and we need art in homes as well. The era of having bare walls, we should find bare walls oppressive, and we should stop putting calendars and things like that.
As though they were the art.
As though they were the art. These are not the things we should have calendars on our phones, but we should have paintings on our walls.
No, but the product marketers need the calendars, because whilst the calendars may give people the datum, it also helps them place their products in the critical line of vision of people. So I wouldn't let them stop that. Yeah. What I would say maybe is encourage some of them to use the artists to produce work also for the calendars.
The calendars, yeah. Backpress used to do that. Backpress does that. Where every year, for example, like 2025 coming up, it will release calendars of particular artists' work. So every month you have different images of the same artist featuring, and we encourage others to do that.
So you think art should start at kindergarten?
Every child is born an artist, so art starts from the womb. When you are pregnant,
primary, secondary
school, all the way to the university. If you talk to many foreigners, they could be engineers, they could be musicians, they could be medical doctors. They say, oh yeah, when I was in medical school, I took an elective class in art. We don't do that here. We say, you did science, what have you got to do with art? That's the language we speak here. You are doing business, what have you got to do with art? And it's unfortunate.
We limit ourselves.
We do. We do. The educational system is there are hurdles along the way. Every step of the way, there are hurdles.
And those hurdles are intentionally created by people in authority?
Precisely. That's what I meant when I say we have yet to decolonize our education. It's still very colonial. It's still very, if you did music and later in life you wanted to do medical science, they'll tell you, oh, O-levels, you didn't do science. Forget it.
But I have a lot of people who did not do too well in science and maths in Ghana, who went to England and who have become doctors. One of them was my senior in Presec.
There you go.
Because at the time they needed doctors and said, listen, whatever you studied, we need doctors. If you can pass these exams, you're on.
You're on, yeah. So basically, the idea about promoting art in our system has to do with creative thinking. Thinking as if there are no boxes. Thinking as if there are no boxes. That's what we need here to promote ourselves, to promote our art. We have been conditioned to think in a particular way, and we have been conditioned to think as if we needed to change our minds, we need permission from some people. That's our problem. It's all here. Because we use our minds to create the reality we live.
And then there's a second part of, there are those amongst us who also limit themselves with silly statements like, oh, but you are African, but the dress you are wearing is not African. Once you create a product, it is no longer for your culture.
Precisely.
It is for the world.
It's for the world.
So you can't tell somebody they are African, so why are they driving in a Rolls Royce?
There you go.
And you can't tell somebody they are European, so why do they have a tanker vehicle?
Exactly.
Once the product is created,
and
it is for the whole world.
It's for the whole world.
You can't say if there's a walking aid, which helps people who are infirm, and that walking aid was made in Sweden, because you're an African, you can't use it.
No.
Or if the fabric I'm wearing was made in a Scottish male, because I'm African, I can't use it. In fact, today, nearly all the African prints we see are produced in China.
In China, yeah.
Are we going to say because of that we won't wear them at all?
No.
So that limiting way of thinking is another thing we must address.
Precisely, because other countries have borrowed from all over the world.
That's what I'm saying.
And appropriated it. So, I can give a whole lot of, why do Europeans go for holidays?
To go and see what's
to go and see other people are doing, yeah.
And pick the best of it.
And bring them back. So holidays are a part of education. That's it. Europeans I mean, they go for holidays.
It's for the experience,
It's for the experience,
shopping.
not for the shopping.
We go for shopping.
We go for shopping. You know, and we
and
need.
To think we can even laugh at it.
I know.
It's part of our malady.
I know. It's serious. I mean, people in Accra should go to the north. People in the north should come south. I mean, we should go everywhere with.
I go to the north
yes.
to learn about the culture. The
Precisely.
last time I was up north, I went to greet the Yana, and I learned a little from my good friend, Na Kusiela Ziem. He told me certain things I didn't know about the culture because I have conditioned myself and purposed to be a master of Ghanaian culture.
Precisely.
So I sat at the feet of Ni Tetichuru, who was Lamanche, to learn about every aspect of the Ghana culture.
Fantastic.
You know, and I think we must understand that whatever is good in another's culture that we can use, we must use. And stop complaining.
We must use. And that's how to grow. That's how civilizations become, great. That's how civilizations become great. But the more you stay, I mean, you confine yourself to only what you know, within a question of time, you become irrelevant. You would die off. Societies are organic and they can die.
Societies are organic
and they can die.
The truth is, all kingdoms fall.
All kingdoms fall.
But now that I mentioned the La Mancha, the late La Mancha, we have a message from the Gadangbe Council, a goodwill message from the landlords. All of us who have come from different parts of Ghana, from all other 5 major ethnic groups of Ghana who live in Accra are guests of the Gadangbe. And this is their message.
Gadangbe bife wo me banye de umani acho mi Jackie Ankra musician broadcaster ke actress Jimmy ya womane bemi mi wo benko oshiki for Benin Gadangbe Traditional Council ke 5 pamo ke 3 papa nke wo fe ake wo ke hebu ke 3 shito adwin beni wo ba fe ni wo mangana ba damo inajiano oshiki for be she oshiki for be ishe ni fine no ni blofo chole tolerance ni ashishinu mo e ko me fe mo unity peace twinjole chushito wo ene wo babi ni kai ni jemfe ana keshin Ghana wo mo democracy shishin mambu papa wole no ni ji nye fine atom line ahawo ye Ghana nye hani wo bua wo mlai fe ni wo ba ye kulena ni wo ba fo oshikie ejake oshiki fo eji no ko ni ba wawo ye wo seko ke boni wo ba fe ni wo ma ba ye hie ni ba da wo wo pa ni fa wo aka fe gidigidi aka no be aka ba wo fe wo ye different view boni bujo ekoleje na ka onyami jon onyami party ekoleje bo party shefe no ko efitahe ni sho no wanyami me game wo pafa wo nya ha hejole ahishi koni na gbe Ghana ayikuni ene wo bi onye nyera don mehune wawo electoral offices kemo femo ni he wale na ke dwomo na eke wehye ni wo hye won hanya yiko kenuchi mo papa nya bo modern wa wo jibeni abana akelele Ghana ke wo ke no kwe wo feel nya ha wo do mo ahye eko me femo frafrao ashanteo ayigbe kefe no je kamo akeshi ekome wo fe ekome wo danyeshin nyomo ajo wo mangana ni hani wo da ni wo hishi fifi ketunjole nyawadon.
That was a goodwill message from the Gadangbe Council for Peaceful Elections. And this is what it says in the English language. As we approach the much-anticipated elections tomorrow, December 7, 2024, the Gadangbe Council extends our heartfelt appeal to all our people and citizens to embrace peace, unity, and patriotism during this significant democratic process. Elections are a vital pillar of democracy, offering us the opportunity to shape our collective future through the power of the ballot. Let us remember that while we may hold differing political views, we are united by a common goal: the progress and prosperity of our nation. We urge all candidates, political parties, and their supporters to prioritize dialogue, tolerance, and respect for the rule of law. Let us reject violence, provocation, and any actions that undermine the integrity of this process. Peaceful elections pave the way for credible outcomes, stability, and national harmony. To our security agencies and electoral officials, we commend your efforts thus far and encourage you to discharge your duties impartially and diligently. To the voters, we encourage you to turn out in large numbers. Vote wisely. Vote peacefully. Let your voices be heard. Together, we can demonstrate to the world the strength of our democracy and our unwavering commitment to peace. May tomorrow's elections be a celebration of our unity and shared purpose. God bless our homeland Ghana. Signed, His Excellency J. Ayikwe Otu, former Ambassador of Ghana to Canada, former Attorney General of Ghana, but for this purpose, the President of the Ghana Dangbe Council for Peaceful Elections. Also signed, Dr. Emmanuel Lamte, Executive Secretary. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be right back after this.
Your election strong room is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
A moment to choose between Reset, Upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you a comprehensive coverage.
And Class Media Group is your most reliable and trusted source to give you the best analysis.
We've put together a strong team of reporters across all constituencies to bring you the breaking news.
Experienced presenters for all the unbiased in-studio discussions with very knowledgeable experts.
Ababia yebenya edefi polling stations ahodwa awo Ghana for na yebenya mre ni asone so krojen amemu ate ni de asomo
anti ye de libedi abato nechi na ne bepie wa abato mu bia no yamam ehunu
Kaya ho ewa Accra 100.5 FM, Class 91.3 FM, CTV, Ghana's #1 television, and our classfmonline.com. Your affiliate stations are woodworking and which your Ghana have a piano or Sabakaye.
Abato mbre sabe so hu abato no nsu sanso a koso full of Class Media Group, your election strong group.
Class TV, CTV, part of Class Media Group, and you are on the program Master of the Game, presented by His Royal Blackness, with special guest Amakaina Matefio, a man raised in the mold of a diplomat, a great artist, a poet, a writer, and a sculptor. We've talked about his art, we've talked about art education, what he thinks government can do to ensure that we have art in all our education, in all our public spaces. But now I want to look at his role as a writer and a poet, and what the writer, the poet, the artist, and the sculptor, what role they play to help for peace and prosperity in our motherland, Ghana.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. First and foremost, as an artist, you know, hearing all these peace messages and things like that, or seeing how we are being inundated with peace messages and all that, I ask myself, when a lot of effort is put into something, then you step back and you ask yourself, why? Why now? Because I think that when people are happy, you don't tell them to be peaceful. When people are happy, you don't tell them to be peaceful. So I would want us not to politicize peace.
The man with much to enjoy and much to protect needs not go cause any problem.
Exactly.
It is the one with nothing to protect.
Yes. Yeah. When people are happy, they don't fight.
And
yes.
nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Will go out to cause problems.
Yes. So we should at all times be. It's like the Ghana month thing. I mean, we should be at peace all year round. And and at elections, if you've done a good work and the people are happy, you don't need to appeal to them to be peaceful.
So it should really be peace 24/7.
Precisely. Peace 24/7.
That should be a logo.
Yeah.
Peace 24/7. That's it.
And then peace is also the child of justice. Peace is produced by justice, economic justice, social justice. When we have all these things, then peace will be born. Peace will be born naturally. You know, peace will be born naturally when we have social justice, when we have, as our motto goes, freedom and justice. They go together, social justice.
So where you have people who have been in positions of authority, who are, for want of a better word, police and thieves in mischief, who have robbed the country. Some who have taken the country to borrow, and they have made profits from the borrowing of the country, even whilst they were in positions of power. Then the person who paid tax wants justice. And if he doesn't get that justice, he has no peace.
He has no peace, no peace of mind. I mean, as we sing all these, we make all these appeals about peace, 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 peace. Let's ask ourselves, are the pensioners at peace?
Some have died because of a haircut.
Precisely.
Because somebody wasted our resources.
There you go.
And then said, oh, we don't have money. So now we're going to take part of your money. Your investment, the money you need to buy your medication. So they have no peace.
Precisely.
They have no justice.
They have no justice. So why do we do this to ourselves? Just because some politicians want to tick the box? That's just because some politicians are avoiding Judgment Day? Just because some politicians are avoiding the anger of the people? So we make songs to cajole the people? So we spend millions for people to, you know, to cool them down? What a joke.
And a peace council you don't hear of most of the year, and all of a sudden during elections, they are wheeled
all
out,
over the place.
They are wheeled out as though pulled from hospital beds to come and tell us we need peace.
We need peace.
So all year round we didn't need peace?
So these are my concerns.
So you're spoiling the lands and the water for a few people to get gold.
Exactly.
And now some will have to drink mud. And you say, we must have peace for the election.
This is a joke. This is a joke. This is a sham. And we all know it. And we all know, and the children are watching us. The children are watching. I mean, take the special voting and what happens there. If it were children, or our children who were sitting exams and are caught in exam malpractices, cheating.
They were actually sharing food to people before they vote. Blatant bribery. I spoke to the NCCE vice chairman here. I said, this is bribery and corruption, isn't it? He says, well, you know, he tried to be diplomatic about it. I said, no, people are in jail. People are in someone for less.
For less. And our children are watching. When they are caught up in exam malpractice, we cancel their exams. We make them repeat. We punish them. Sometimes exams council will say, look here, because the paper leaked. I mean, we've cancelled all your results. When it comes to the turn of the adults, what do?
We make it an ethical issue.
Exactly.
Now it's only gray areas. It is no longer black and white.
We can't be firm about it. The children are watching, and they will mimic our behavior.
You know, one thing I saw that broke my heart. As a journalist, I speak to facts, not fiction.
Not fiction.
Ursula Owusu commissioned something at the airport.
Okay.
Electronic gates at around $20 million. It was recommissioned for in excess of $150 million. And now when Vice President Bawumia said you could use a Ghana card to open those e-gates, the e-gates did not open.
The e-gates were fed up.
Fed up with what? So where did all that money go?
Where did it all go?
So there is no social justice.
There is no social justice.
The few who have access to the public funds have fattened themselves like cows. And I've watched the people starve for years. And all of a sudden, they say, we want peace.
Where is the accountability? Where is the social justice? Where is it? And who is to champion that? Who is to make songs about social justice?
The artists.
See?
The artists and the artists.
I know. So these are the issues. These are the issues. So let's stop making it, let's not do this to ourselves. Let's not do this. Let's show that we think in this country and we think through things in this country. Enough of the politics of deception, enough of the double speak, enough of double truths, enough of regime truths, enough of all this. We have a country, and it is our duty to protect our country from our government.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
To protect our country from our government.
Because
Why?
the country is always there. We have no other country anywhere.
But governments come and go.
Governments come and governments go. And so this is where we must be coming from, to protect our country from our government.
I'll hold you right there.
Yeah.
Get ready,
Yeah.
because I'm going to take the public to another side of you. You're the writer and the poet, Amakai Amatefu. Are you happy to share one or two of your poems with us?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the politicians, let me talk to you directly. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. Some will take your rice and your cash and your sardine and your toilet roll to go and vote for you. But many are not as foolish as they were before. For many may take the food and eat it, but they will vote against you. And now we go to the poetry of the one, the only, Amakai Amatefu.
Thank you
Are you
very
ready for
much.
us?
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's go. So that's your camera right there. Talk to this camera.
All right. I do one of my poems I call For All Those Times I Died. And this is a poem I wrote way back in 2016. It was based upon a real life incident I witnessed, and then I wrote this poem out of it. For all those times I died, when I made you my guide, and to my own soul I lied, and told myself you were all that I needed before I lived. I lived by your very word, against my inner voice. I lived on your life surplus. You said that would make me thrive. And now I look back and see all the stack of years I never lived. Truths I questioned with lies. Edges I questioned with whys. And now to hell with you. And now I'm done with you. Your beliefs you put on me. And I saw the world your way. And good you said it was. It moved the heart of God. I believe all you said. How could I have, but now I find that odd. How could I have been dead to have left my life for years? And now I do return and look back on my life and see all the moments, replay all the comments, for all those times I cried, for all those times I died, and now back from you I take my power, my mind, my soul, and say to hell with you, and say I'm done with you. I'm safer with all my lies than truths I cannot question, that people unknown to me have left behind for me. And now I leave them all, my wisdom to embrace, my follies to learn from. For all those times I died, when I wondered why and said, only if I looked like you and had your style and grace, your hair, your skin and race, your manners, your soul and ways. But now I look back and see all the void in all I had enjoyed and say again to you, it's over and done with you. For all those times I died, for all the days I cried, and all the times I tried, when I waited days on end for you to be my friend and say your love to me. For all those times I died, for all the days I cried, I have you all to thank. For now I know so well how to keep away from you and make my soul my guide and live my life with pride in all I am for now. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
For all those times I died. And for this, you address the colonialist, you address the politicians, and you address the unkind friends.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So beautifully written.
Welcome.
And on this note, we're going to have to say thank you to
My
Amarkine Amatefio,
My
the fine
pleasure.
artist,
Yeah.
the poet, the writer, and the sculptor. And to end Master of the Game today, I ask of all of you, are you the type of parent or leader that prepares the road for the child? Or are you the type of parent or leader that prepares the child for the road? For those who are calling little children around them and little young men and women around them and saying, go and vote for this party, you do the world a lot of wrong. For you must teach the children what not to think. You must teach them how to think. For if they know how to think, they will make better decisions than the elders. Thank you. We'll see you on another edition of Master of the Game. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi Che Dakwa. I leave you in love and grace.